Alright, well, screw it. They made it impossible. I'm going to do it anyway. Well, I've got a big country saying first, and Sharon saying, "Hi, you okay?" And I will say, howdy to both of you. Howdy, big country, and howdy, Sharon. And of course, howdy, Chip. Howdy to all of you. Technical difficulties? No. App difficulties. I have no idea what happened to the first stream. And Steph. Howdy, Steph. Great to have all of y'all in. Oh my God, and there's Steve and there's Boris. Holy crikey, we got a big list of people in today. Howdy to all of you. And big countries. Steph wants to know what your first name is. Cole. Big country, if you are any way, shape, or form related to Cole younger, then, sir, we might be related. That's kind of funny. By the way, Sharon, thank you for asking if I'm okay. How are you? Last I talked to you, you had hurt your knee, and that's not a good thing. Hopefully everything is well. Real quick, I'm going to get this thing cut. I'm going to try and remind y'all, if you're getting a torpedo cigar, this is what tip you will see mostly on a torpedo. This is not only a torpedo, but it's also a box price. If you get a torpedo cigar, when you cut this tip off, if you'll save it and chop it up into a little bit of some pipe tobacco that you like, but you think would stand to be a little bit better if it had a little bit of cigar leaf in it, hello, you can give that a shot with just a little cigar leaf instead of wasting a whole bunch of cigar leaf and jacking up a whole 10. You can just, you know, that's enough to test out one big bowl, maybe two smaller bowls, but it's a way to do it so that it's going to feel a whole lot better to your pocketbook if you're already going to smoke a cigar anyways. Uh-oh. Oh, gosh, I hope you have not cracked a bone there, Sharon. That does not sound good. That does not sound like fun at all. All right. Adjusting the screen so that I got a lot less white behind the words. because they start to fade out on the white area here behind me. I can't hardly read them. So yeah, we've got Sharon and Paul right now, both doing the hoppy dance. Not the happy dance, the hoppy dance. And yeah, we definitely don't want to see y'all injured in any way, shape, or form. And now, real quick, I'm going to show y'all, look, that little chunk of tobacco is what I'm talking about saving if you want to try blending a little bit of cigar leaf into any kind of a pipe. And it's real easy to do. All you gotta do is pinch that really hard and just rub it around in your fingers and it will break right up. Because this is a cigar that has a torpedo tip, for me, I'm gonna go ahead and pre-get this. Howdy, Iden, or Eden. Damn, I always do that. And Jeff, howdy, Jeff. Great to see all of y'all. In case y'all are wondering what I'm doing here, I am wiggling the wire or poker portion of my check tool back and forth and feeding it into the cigar. And by doing so, it will open up the amount of air that will pass through, which is good to know if you are a wet smoker like I am. Piper said, and Willie, howdy, sir. Great to have you. And Dan, howdy, sir. Good Lord. 12 people in. I know what it is. I know what it is. Y'all are wanting to hear about stealing Phil's sticks. We will get to that. Eden, what did you have, sir? Or what kind of a cigar and what kind of a cigarello? As you know, I am actually interested. No, this is not just some sort of question that I would ask because I'm trying to keep conversation going. I'm actually interested. What'd you have? Did you like it? How was it? Lots and lots of questions. And of course, my ashtray, the Cigar can. Because I could leave it out here and I don't have to clean it and it doesn't smell up the whole place. Because when you put the lid on it, it just goes away. Oh, Partagas Cigarillo. Oh, yeah. Okay, just for anybody who's in here listening and has never heard me say that before, it is not part gas, it is not Partagas, it is Partagas. Partagas. And I've asked their company representatives, how do you exactly want to say that word so that I can correct people on how to say it correctly? And you know what? They came up with Partagas. Partagas. So not party gas. Not pray to Gus. Partagas. I am very happy with that. Is Charlie in here? I didn't see Charlie. Did I miss him? I don't see him. Steph, you trying to tell me Charlie's in here and I know he's not because I don't see him. All right, so Eden, if the Maduro is too much for you, go to a natural or stay with those Connecticut's. If you are happy with what you've already got, then there's no reason to go any farther with it. This is not a competition. I am not here to try and set somebody up to fail. Last thing I want to do is see... Oh, Charlie is... Okay. What about Corojo? Okay. Give me a second. Oh, my woolly bear of a cat is wanting to make a cameo. Oh, he's going to bite me if I keep doing this. Just in case y'all are asking, that was Trump. I will explain here in just a second. But what about a Corojo? Corojo, Habano, and Natural are all about the same. The difference is in how far away from Maduro or away from Connecticut that it actually is. You would call a Natural the dead center, okay? Corojo is a little more towards Maduro, and Habano is a little closer to a towards a Connecticut. You would have to. The only way I can remember this is if you look at the wrapper of most of the cigars that come out of Cuba, Habana, Cuba, it is a bit lighter, kind of a caramel color, okay? And then there's several different spots in there. There's Oscuro and Sumatra, and trust me on this, there's a lot of little spots in there that if you go down to 3 categories of Connecticut, Natural, Maduro, if it is, this is considered a Maduro. And I'm going to tell you that it could also be considered a Sumatra as far as color goes. Just by color, okay? It's considered a Maduro, but it could be a Sumatra, it could be a Corojo. It's too dark to be a Natural. So Natural can be up to Corojo and down to Habano. Maduro can be as low as Corojo and as high as these Obsidian. There is some that are called Obsidian, and they are as black as night. For a good look at an Obsidian, I would suggest looking at the the Punch Diablo comes to mind first. Yes, Eden, that's very confusing stuff. It gets really, really into the heavyweight categories of being a tobacconist. And it's for a lot of people, it's just overload. And that's why I don't try to break it down into anything other than Connecticut, Natural, and, of course, Maduro. If you tell someone a Maduro, you can get a wide range of Maduros because of color and what the profile ends up. But the easiest way to remember this is Connecticut's are generally light. It's not going to blow you up. You're not going to feel hurt. You should not be feeling all kind of wobbly and wiggly after smoking it. Unfortunately, generally, they're also light in flavor. There are some exceptions, and I will discuss those in the coming weeks. I've got 13 different cigars that I'm going to help to discuss some of the differences of cigars. And there is a article that's going to be on briarreport.org that will help to let you know what's going on with the cigars. So, once you get past Connecticut, then there is natural. Now, natural is a very large range, and it's in between, damn, I wish it had some strength, and holy cow, this is going to blow my head off. In general. Darker than a Connecticut, but lighter than a Maduro. If you want to increase your flavor on a Connecticut, go down to that Lancero. You get around 38 ring gauge, skinny little pencil looking things, dynamite, because it increases the flavor. I will explain some of that too in the coming weeks very soon. I promise. There's a lot of information going to be coming out about cigars. Like, way too much. Chad, I cannot send you all of my cigars. But I will let you have a chance to get some cigars that you might enjoy. Boris, you're very, very correct. There's a lot of Corojo out there. And they are from various different places. And yes, generally, the Corojo did start in Cuba. In fact, look for the Partagas Series D, which is technically a Corojo. That's the level of aging that they took it to, okay? You could take the same exact leaf, age it for 3 weeks, just enough to turn it into a rollable leaf, and it would be a Candela, which is green. Age it for 3 more weeks, and it can be anywhere between a Connecticut and a Corojo. I mean, just depending upon how much sugars are in there. Howdy Stamper Tamper, and howdy Chad. Just sorry I didn't say that while you came in. Depending upon how you age things, and there's a lot of ways of aging things. We're not going to get into that. Seriously, we're not getting into how they age things. But you can kind of trust me, I guess, when I'm telling you that depending upon how they age and how long they age, the darker and darker a leaf will get. So if you want a Maduro wrapper, you have to start off knowing that you're going to age it for a longer time. And in general, here's the other generality of cigars, and it tends to be almost always true. Connecticut wrappers are thin, very thin. Maduro wrappers are thick. You can get both those wrappers off the same plant. But the thinner the wrapper, the easier it's going to be to split. And that's going to be important for one of those cigars that's coming up. And yes, I did ask the manufacturers, mostly because I worked for them. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now, this is the same cigar as the 2004 Cigar Aficionado's Cigar of the Year. And it almost ruined the company that made it. Well, Eden, I'm going to tell you right now, Tatuaje makes some great cigars. Some of them can be up to some pretty good strength. If you'll remember to have some kind of a sugary drink nearby, if you start feeling hot, slightly sick as you're smoking, sit down, drink cold ice water or some sort of a sugary drink, and that will help that out. Well, Piper said, if you even one time ever looked at a Thompson Cigar website and didn't click the don't send me anything, and they somehow figured out where you lived, because there's a very small box at the very bottom. Yes, I get the Thompson Cigar ads all the time too, but I like them, so I keep them around. And besides that, they make good for starting charcoal for a, for a barbecue type situations. Just saying. All right, yes, Eden, that's correct. Eat before, and well, you can do a cold sugary tea, soda of some sort, something with some actual sugar in it. Your body, as it tries to do what it does with the nicotine, if it's going into one of those situations where it says, hey, just too much, all you really need to do is some sugar water, nice cold, but the flavoring will help get you a little more in, a little faster, which will help you regulate that much faster, and there you go. Yes, Blue Mold and Black Shank did take out a lot of the Corojo leaf that was available on the planet. And LFD was also recently affected by Blue Mold. And LFD and Padron are the only two companies out there that own all of their tobacco. They do not use anybody else's tobacco. So when LFD got hit with some Blue Mold, it was not a good thing. But yes, so there's tons of information about just the wrappers. And I'm not talking about like Coolio and Sir Mix-a-Lot. We're talking about cigar wrappers. There's a ton of information out there. And some of what's on the internet is actually wrong. I thought I knew what was right, and then I started working at a cigar shop, and I took their tobacconist course. Says courses, plural there. And I'm going to tell you, some of the stuff that's out there on the internet is out there to literally just confuse people. It is at best difficult to ascertain what is real and what is fake. But the tendency is, if you're getting quotes from a reputable company, then you're probably good. If you're getting quotes from some publication and they're not backing it up by saying, hey, we got this quote from somebody who actually is in the business, then, well, I know, right? God. Not everything on the internet is true. I guess I'm not really a French underwear model. Nor do I have a Nashville Mafia thong anyways, so we don't really have to worry too much about the cringeworthy. You're welcome. At some point during this broadcast, I am fairly certain that somebody's going to open that door right back there and peek right around the corner, right over here. And then they will realize they are on screen. And then later, my wife, who it'll probably be her, will probably have a talking to me. Willie, I'm not wearing a thong, so it's not going to happen. Howdy, Patrick Grant. Whew. Willie, I promise. It is better to send me Largo than it is to send me a Nashville Mafia thong. By the way, did most of y'all catch that show last night with the Nashville Mafia? There's some interesting information running around that there might or might not be a show on Wednesday. So I think enough of y'all need to get online somewhere. If you want there to be a Nashville Mafia show, you need to go on to the Nashville Mafia Live channel or the Volunteer Piper channel or Night Piper channel. And you need to click on some of their videos and you need to write them a long message about we will send the Goon Squads back to them if they do not go live. Or not. Sending me some Captain Black grape and some Largo menthol wrapped in a Nashville Mafia thong. Ugh. You just mean to your own equipment. But that's right. Steph did say that if y'all do not go live, she will do a DJ night. And we all kind of like Steph's DJ nights also. So, Willie, if you don't feel like doing it, I'm sure Steph could bust out all the Christmas carols in her whole repertoire and she could spin them vinyls. Get it going, Steph. We know you. Oh. Thanks, Sharon. That is an Alec Bradley Princato, not the Princato Lost Art. I like the Princato Lost Art better than I like the Princato, but these were 50% off. I'm not Scrooge, but I'm going to squeeze a penny until it hurts. Howdy, Paul. Great to see you. DJ Haberdasher. She does make a dashing haberdasher. Well, she does make a dashing hat. That's for certain. I've even got one, but I don't really have a hat. I guess I've got more of a cap. And yes, I do like the Alec Bradley lineup. And no, I do not tell people to go get the Alec Bradley lineup, because a lot of people hear the bad stuff on the internet about how they had construction issues. Okay, that's fine. Let's, for instance, just imagine that they actually have construction issues. Let me see. Let me go down through here and see if I can't find a certain picture that proves them wrong. I don't know if y'all can see what I'm doing right now, but I'm just scrolling down through a bunch of pictures. Got a long way to go through here. Sorry about that. Ooh, there's a picture y'all don't want to see. Promise. Let's add this one. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, that was a 60 ring gauge, 6-inch long cigar when I lit it. And that is all ash, smoked. That's my hand holding it. I had to have somebody take a picture of it. Look at that. That's hanging sideways over the ashtray. I can prove that. Look, there's the ashtray. It's as sideways as I wanted to get it. Now, that was an Alec Bradley Black Market Gordo. Yeah, one of my favorite sticks. And people used to tell me all the time, oh my God, Alec Bradley, they've got so many issues with construction and this, that, the other. Show me where in that picture you have issues with the construction. The only issue with the construction is probably that your favorite cigar can't do that. Now I'll explain what happened. I will explain exactly how Alec Bradley got their bad name of having crappy construction. And it involves this cigar, the Princato. 2004 Cigar of the Year. When Alec Bradley put this cigar out, sales were mild, lackluster. So they made a certain amount, and at the rate that they were going off the shelf, they had 6 months, and they already had rolled another 6 months worth and put it in the aging room. And then this magazine, Cigar Aficionado, came out and said, We're going to call that the #1 cigar of the year. What they had on the shelves was 6 months worth of supply previous of that magazine saying that it was Cigar of the Year. 6 months turned into 6 minutes. They sold everything they had 6 minutes after they opened for business the day that that ad came out, or the day that that magazine came out with that statement that that's the Cigar of the Year. 6 months turned into 6 minutes. What was aging did not have enough time to fully age. What they were rolling wasn't ready yet. So they express aged, and they did what they could to quickly manufacture as many of those cigars as they could. Problem is, quality control went to crap. And they weren't aging them the way they were. And all their sticks, in general, started taking a hit. At the end of the year, Alec Bradley made the decision to no longer allow their cigars to go into that situation. If they were at Cigar of the Year for whatever reason, they would put out what they had and they would say, you have to wait until the next batch is ready. But they were trying to do it because the fans of Alec Bradley were like, great, let's buy them all off the shelf. And they did. And it created the situation where, of course, years and years later, Alec Bradley still has this stigma of having bad construction. Terrible construction. That's what you call terrible construction. And if that's terrible construction, well, then we're all monkeys' uncles. Okay, Eden, the Black Market Punk is a Lancero-sized, 4-inch long. Basically, it rates in as a cigarillo. It is going to be a little more intense than the average Black Market. And I'm going to tell you, if you're thinking that most Maduros are just a little bit too strong for you, what you really need to do is go up in ring size, not down. The closer you get ring size from the wrapper to the center of the cigar, the more flavor it's going to have and the stronger it's going to feel. Now, I like the punks because I like the whole Black Market family. The only one that I don't smoke very often is the Filthy Hooligan because of the Candela wrapper, which gives me headaches. I smoke one a year in the hopes that I don't get a headache, and then I get my headache, and I don't smoke another one for another year. I don't know what the problem is. I still like the cigar, but I know full well that I'm going to have a screaming ass headache the next day. As far as the Project 40, it's a $5 to $6 stick that is fantastic. You can get the Project 40 in the natural or the Maduro wrapper, and they're both really, really good. For you, I would suggest the regular Project 40, not the Maduro Project 40, but that's just one of those things. Yes, Eden, Candela always gives me a headache, which is why you'll never see me on a live feed smoking a Candela cigar. There's a company called Romacraft, and they put out one called a Sabertooth that has a Candela leaf underneath a Maduro leaf. It's a beautiful stick. It is a great smoke, but the next day I'm like, I just want to take a damn needle and stab it into my eye and relieve the pain. Eden, there is nothing wrong with cheaper sticks. You want to try something that's fantastic for a great price? I will tell you straight out, go get the Drew Estates factory smokes. All of them are great. And Sharon, I understand how you feel. I do not envy you at all. That, and yes, I have had some surgery around a kneecap, and believe me, I don't ever want to have it happen again. So if any of y'all are trying to smoke on a budget and keep that budget low, you either need to get with Steve and Kathy and get information about where they order their cheaper than the factory smokes, which they're a smoke at a shop that's right there in Oklahoma, or the Drew Estates factory smokes. You get a bundle of 25 here in Texas. I'm not going to tell you what you're paying for it where you live, but here in Texas you can get a bundle of 25 for somewhere between $36 and $50, depending upon which ones you get. Steve, I know. I mean, it at the price, you just about cannot beat the Drew Estates factory smokes. But I've heard that you've got some cigars there in Oklahoma that are a little bit cheaper. Eden, yes, the Fuente 585 is fantastic. There are the curly heads. Those are like $3 a stick. Those are not bad. Curly heads used to be what I called a golf stick. It's one of those sticks that you don't mind. If you light it up and you knock the hell out the ball and it goes right where you're wanting it to, and you're doing your little victory dance and you look down and you found out that you just stomped the hell out of your cigar, you're not too upset. You're like, oh, damn, all right, well, whatever. The Chateaus are great. They're not too expensive, but they're not gonna burn for very long. Me, I like a stick that burns for quite some amount of time. Sharon, No, that is not 36 just for one on the Drew Estates factory smokes. That is for a bundle of 25 sticks. But as Eden pointed out, yes, there are some sticks that are $36 and more. There's some Gurkhas out there that are $1,000 per stick, $1,000 per stick. I don't have that kind of money. I'm never going to smoke a cigar that expensive. And Patrick's a fan of LFD cigars. That is La Flor Dominicana. Now, La Flor Dominicana had a recent issue with some blue mold, which has made their supply very low. There's even some reputable shops that got so tired of them not even calling back when they were like, hey, look, we want to order your stuff, but what's the problem? And it was like, yeah, well, we'll get back to you, and then they wouldn't get back to them. So LFD ended up off the shelves of some very reputable shops. And I'm not talking about just here in the Houston area. I'm talking about worldwide reputable shops that just said, you know what, psh, done. And surprisingly, as soon as those reputable shops stopped carrying LFD, LFD came back on the phone and said, hey, wait, we still want to actually sell cigars. Chad, I can imagine that Nashville Mafia Yeti does make you feel loved. By the way, Chad, go ahead and plug Marcy's channel. I'm not sure that everybody in here has followed her yet. I know I did. I've seen some of her videos. I try not to comment on her stuff just because, well, we all know I'm a little fond of the off comment. And I would hate to give her an off comment that she feels that Chad can no longer have me as a friend, and therefore that would be bad. Sharon, the problem with me getting a bundle of cigars and then mailing them to you is that the price tag of the mailing, and then you're still going to end up with importing fees. Now, if it was somebody here in the United States, that it wouldn't be so much of an issue. Because I'd just set them up with my guy and say, hey, look, you can send the money directly to this guy, and he'll tell you how much is shipping, and we could go from there, no problem. But quite honestly, it's easier to order them off of Cigars International, and I know that they take care of the shipping directly. But you're still going to end up paying the same amount pretty much anywhere you go. Oh yes, Steve, I do know that your in-shop cigars are sold out on a regular basis. That's been discussed several times. Well, good for you, Steph. They should be scared of you. If not, they'll have to talk to Skip or Donald. I think they would prefer to talk to Skip. Because I'll show up with a nice Chianti and some fava beans. Really, Cigars International does not ship worldwide. Okay, I'm going to have to start doing some research, figure out how I can get that to you. Some way, shape, or form. I'm not sure. I'll start looking it up though. Steph, no, I'm not really chilly. It's just a thin t-shirt and a real thin, well, it's sweatshirt material. And I've only got it on just to keep the arms warm. Just, the arms felt a little bit chilly, but it's not too bad. Well, Steph, it's, I think, 56 here. But a lot of these people were laughing at me when I was telling them my ears get cold easy, and I don't want them to be cold. Okay, CLE, decent cigar. CLE and Arroyo are right there out of the same factory. I don't remember what CLE stands for, and I apologize about that. It's been a while since I've even discussed CLE. They're not going to be what I would say is one of those knock you out cigars. But Big Country, if you want a Connecticut, something to really start your day off with, I'll tell you two. I'll tell you two right now. You know what? Give me just a second. I'm gonna walk in here, grab a bundle of sticks, and I'm gonna bring them out, and I'm gonna show you which two I'm gonna suggest. And I will discuss with you why I suggest these. Okay. Well, nope, that's not the right one. There it is. The Southern Draw Rose of Sharon. You will find it with that pink label. Don't be ashamed and think, oh, pink label, can't do that. I'm going to tell you right now, fantastic cigar. You want a Connecticut with a lot of flavor, and I know for a fact goes well with coffee. Promise you, it's great, but you're going to need to smoke it first thing in the day, because after you smoke something else, it won't have any flavor. Eden, the Charter Oaks are really nice. You are correct. Charter Oak is made by Foundation Cigars, and they are fantastic. And not that expensive either. Piper said they make the Rose of Sharon in 4 or 5 different sizes. Lancero, if you really need it to have a lot of flavor. But you can get them up to a Gordo size. If it's the first thing in the day, it's still going to have a lot of flavor. It's going to be good. But if it's after you've already smoked something else, then the flavor tends to not be there as much. So there is that warning. But if you're wanting a great Connecticut, that's one. The second one, the Upman Grupo de Maestros. Okay, this has a Maduro cap and a super thin wrapper. They put the Maduro cap on there specifically so that when you're cutting it, you don't jack up the whole cap they wanted to have something with a little bit of thickness so you don't ruin your cigar as soon as you go and try to cut it. And yes, I told you I would talk about that. There it is. The Grupo de Maestros. I think that with a cup of coffee, the Robusto size is ideal. But if you really want to enjoy yourself, go with that Toro size. Now, you can smoke those, either one of those, all the way down to just 0. That's a damn good price, Steve. That is a damn good price. Howdy, Cliff. Great to see you, sir. Now, a certain article that's coming out on briarreport.org soon. And I'm going to want everybody to read at least a little bit of it, because somebody put some effort into it. And then somebody named Phil really filled in all the little gaps and really knocked it out of the park by polishing it up. At first I thought he was polishing a turd, but then I got to read a first draft, and I'm telling you, very good article, in my opinion, if you like cigars. And I do, so I thought it was a really good article. But there are 13 cigars on that particular article, and they are of various different preferences and strengths. And I think we're all going to be able to find a good stick that would fit into what we like on that list. Now, I like all of them, but I like a very wide range of cigars compared to most people, which is what made me pretty damn good at selling cigars, that I like a lot more of them. I don't single niche. I don't have to have a super peppery stick, and I don't have to have leather. If chocolate's there or not, I'm okay. Well, Chad, what it originally ended up being was I sent in 9 and some alternates, and then he and Bill and Jensen added 1 each, and then Phil decided he was going to put 1 bonus one in from a cigar that I had suggested quite a bit farther. It happens to be 13. It just ended up being that way. I'm not sure why, but I guess he did love it. Otherwise, he would have stopped at 12. By the way, whole call. What are you smoking? And or drinking? And or not smoking? What do you wish you were smoking? Hell, just put something in there. I won't read them off as good as John the Night Piper does, but I will do what I can. Ooh, Cliff, that is a score. Eden's going to sleep. Night, Eden. You take care. We will see you soon. I understand that as far as you wish you were smoking. Sharon, the non-smoker, says she's drinking coffee. Oh, yeah. kind of wish I was smoking a giant Davidoff Churchill too. I can tell you which one. Patrick is smoking Charing Cross in his Chacombe Atlas Dublin. Steve is just lighting up one of his Conocos. I knew that one. Larry's blend in a Savinelli Churchwarden for Piper Said. Whoopie. Missed the FB, the Tease. The Tease. The Tease. Well, the Tease was for the article that's coming out. Willie, the one half of the mafia, is about to smoke a cigarette. Of course, he won't say that. He'll go Jim on that statement. Boris, the never sleeping, is drinking white tea and smoking 4th generation 1931 in his TDPS 50 anniversary Dan-shaped pipe. Oh, Eden wants an Escurio. Not giant, but still, hell. As long as it's Churchill, I guess. Ah, Cole's got himself a lip full of long cut wintergreen. Steph's going for Carter Hall and a Cobb with some 4 roses on ice. Very nice, Steph. Very nice. If that doesn't take the edge off the day, just about nothing will. Good night, Eden. You take care, sleep well, and I'll be on a little earlier tomorrow, so. And Chad, if you're here, are you going live tomorrow, or do you want me to go ahead and fill in for you? If I'm filling in for Chad, I will be on 1 hour later than normal and plan to run for an extended time more than what I normally would. I will not be on right up until Cane Rod, mostly because that means I'm not eating for 12 hours and I'm trying to smoke. And something about Holly kicking me square in the, well, cast iron skillets come to mind. So, yeah. I'm not going against Holly when she says that cast iron skillets come to mind. It just doesn't seem to be the way I work. But Chad has indicated that he is taking a slight vacation from YouTube. And I know that makes a lot of people very, very sad, but I'm not going to drive out to California and hold him at gunpoint and make him do his show. It's just not happening. Just not happening. By the way, in the news today, there was a fight in a Starbucks in Santa Ana, California. You can look this up. It was on ABC. I found it on an ABC stream. I don't know why it came to me, but it showed up. There was a fight in a Starbucks in Santa Ana, California. The winner of the fight lived The loser did not. The winner used a skateboard. Of which I find absolutely hilarious, because there's people out there in Kenosha that are saying that a skateboard is not a lethal weapon. Cliff, I do not know. Willie says that would be Ken Bryan Ventures. And I'm not going to tell him he's wrong, because I've never heard of KBV before. Ken Byron. Sorry, did I say Brian? Did I ever mention that I do have some dyslexia? Sorry. I misunderread it, mostly because I can't get the words right over here to go into the dyslexic font, which helps me greatly. All right, Cliff, inquiring minds want to know, is any of them dark-fired cherry? Oh, by the way, for anybody who wants to know anything about the dyslexic font, I would suggest using the Kindle app on any of your mobile devices and buy your books there, because you can change any font that it was originally published in into the dyslexic font if that's what you need. And I can read a book twice as fast on the dyslexic font as I can in straight paperback or hardcover. I don't know what it does. I don't know how it works. Somebody did a lot of research and figured that crap out, and I appreciate it. Because there are times where if I'm either tired or in a hurry, I have to slow down and stop and rewind, and that takes a lot of times. Steph, you take care. We will definitely see you over at Mike's here in about 30 minutes. Give or take a few. Mostly give, because he'll be on before that. I wasn't asking about dark-fired cherry. That was Willie asking about dark-fired cherry. Nah, good vapor with aged perique. That always sounds good. Jersey Mike subs. Lucky number 13. That's what I always get. I want a giant 13 Mike's Way with pickles and jalapenos. Willie could decipher that pretty quickly if he went in and ordered one of those. You've never had Orlick Golden Sliced? I've only had it once. But I thought I was the last pipe smoker on the planet that had never had Orlick Golden Sliced. Steve, I appreciate it. I appreciate it, brother. But I'm all right. And y'all do a lot of stuff for a lot of people, and you do it for free, so you don't have to send me anything. In fact, there's a lot of these GAWs that I do not get into because I want the chances of other people winning to be a little higher, mostly because at my level of employment, I don't feel it's right for me to take care or take away from people that are actually able to give back to the community. My way of giving back is just giving y'all a place to sit and relax and talk, and sometimes buy pipes, various different stuff. Cole, I'm hoping that that's a Chinese restaurant and not a Chinese restroom. But if it's a Chinese restroom, I've got questions. Is it any different from a regular restroom? Just curious. Cliff, I'm going to tell you, that was not an earthquake the other day. That was your wife finding your stash. By the way, how was the earthquake? Tolerable? Did things really get to shaking and shimmying over there? Or was it just like, no big deal? I've heard that the Thanksgiving Day from LJ Peretti is pretty damn good. I wouldn't know from experience, but I've heard. And I leave some of those statements to the people who would know, because those who have had it have all told me that it's pretty damn good. Huh. Well, hopefully it's not like a giant gust of wind that nearly blew the roof off of your house. We get those during hurricane season here in Houston. Not fun. The giant gusts of wind part. Not fun. And normally it doesn't take off the roof of your house, it just takes your whole tree out. Which then falls into your house and takes off the roof of your house. So much fun. So here is an interesting seismic fact that I thought was completely a lie when I first heard it, and then I did the research, and it's actually true. The area of Houston that I live in has more seismic activity per year than any area in California. Now I'll tell you the reason why I researched it and found out that it was fact. Houston sits on this bed of clay. And we've got in general, every day, almost 24 hours a day, about a 1.5 of a shake. Steady. You don't even notice it. California sits on a layer of rock, and it does not shake. But when that rock decides that it's going to let loose all at once, it has a great big snap. And it'll read 6, 7, 8 on the Richter scale. And crap will shake all over the place for a couple of minutes. What they said is if you add every peak that you get from Houston across the space of a year and compare it to every peak that you get in California, added together, the line would be farther in Houston than it is in California. Which, like I said, I thought it was a lie, but then I did some research and found out it was true. Hola, Jose, ¿cómo estás, amigo? He's going to ask the E2 thing, so I'm going to go ahead and finish that for him. Muy bien, señor. Gracias. Well, Stamper Tamper, where do you happen to be? That you're getting rebound from the glaciers. Not that I'm concerned about that. I'm just curious. And yes, because glacier movement does create a certain amount of regularized shaking. So yeah, you would definitely get some seismic activity. Jose, no, this is actually the Princato from Alec Bradley. I can't smoke those cigars until after the article comes out. But I want to be smoking some of them. Oh yeah, I want to be smoking some of them. Ah, New Brunswick, Canada. Okay, I can see that. I can definitely see that in Canada, in that portion of Canada especially. Oh, Steve, there is no house in the Houston area that's older than 25 years that doesn't have foundation damage of some sort. Because like I said, it's a constant small shake. Eventually it finds the weak spot and it cracks it. Just the way it always seems to work. Lucky me, I forgot to bring out anything to drink today. And while this cigar smokes great, talking for an hour and a half while you're smoking a cigar is a little rough on the vocal cords. Well, Steve, yeah, that layer of clay and old silt goes right up through Texas and right up into Oklahoma and this side, so it's also going to cover some of Louisiana and Arkansas. It just what the ground is made of. I mean, people show me where they're digging a hole to dig a fence, and I'm laughing because I'm thinking, yeah, you ain't doing that here in Houston. You get down 3 inches and that stuff turns into this black, sticky gumbo stuff that never comes off of a shovel. You can dig 6 feet, but half the hole will be full of water before you even get there. Just stuff I got used to growing up in this area. Been here a while. Well, Cliff, are you taller than your friend that delivered all that stuff? Because, I mean, if you're taller than him, you should have said, hey, stick around so we can let everybody say hello to my little friend. And Cliff, if you missed the Yabo that I put out yesterday, I'm going to tell you. I know your feelings. Well, we would have said hello to your little friend. Anybody who's going to bring Cliff some tobacco, we're going to say hello to that guy or girl. What would be a good pipe for a new beginning pipe smoker to try? Sharon, there's some people that are going to definitely disagree with me here. I would say the 2 best pipes for beginning pipe smokers is a clay pipe or a corncob pipe. Because if they don't like it, they are not out a couple of $100s on a really nice pipe. And if they throw them out, then, you know, no big deal. They're not out a bunch of work. Yes, Cliff, the Savinelli Series 3 9mm filtered would be pretty good. Also, that's not going to be super expensive. Anybody else got some suggestions? The Falcon Pipes. Falcon makes some good pipes for beginners because you just about cannot pack them tight enough to plug them up. And you can learn all of how to take care of a pipe properly on a less expensive pipe, and then you can eventually start moving into the more expensive and higher end pipes. Some pipes you will get what you pay for, and some pipes you will not. But a good cheap clay or a good cheap corncob, or like was suggested, the Savinelli Series 3, which is an unfinished Savinelli that's going to be good. Or you start looking at estate pipes and you buy something that's been used. Just make sure you clean the hell out of them before you start. But if you're going into a shop where they actually sell tobacco, see what they've got for what's called a basket pipe. I've seen basket pipes for as low as $5. They just wanted to get it off the shelves. Just get it the hell out of here. And I've seen basket pipes for all of up to $40. Brand new, never smoked. And some of them are really, really good. Okay, Sharon, there's going to be all kind of YouTube videos on that. Matches 860. Matches 860. Some of his videos on how to clean a pipe are fantastic. Mutton Chop put out several. But there are plenty more than just those two. Of course, with COVID going on right now, you want to make sure that you clean the heck out of anything you're putting in your mouth. There's no reason that you should get something for pure enjoyment and end up getting sick because of it. Jose, I do like a good bent Dublin, and I've been looking at those Zulu type pipes ever since it was suggested by Philip Rivara as something that I might want to try for when I'm working with briar blocks. Not a problem, Sharon. Not a problem. And Briar Blues Dinger just came on, so he is on. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, so much fun having all of y'all here. Hey, we got up now right around 20 people today. It is so good to have y'all here on a regular basis, but this is a tailgate, and that's why we're heading over to Mike's. So any of y'all who don't know who Mike is, well, y'all haven't been around for a while. You need to get online with Briar Blues on a regular basis. And he's on, so that's where we're going. As per always, y'all take care of yourselves and each other. Do the best you can with that. We love having you, so we want to have y'all back as often as we can. And, of course, long lives, big bowls, and long ashes. Y'all take care, and I will see you, well, on Mike's channel very soon. Bye for now.